I'm tired, yeah. God, that school is just killing
It's
me.
really,
Yeah. Yeah, I had a paper that was, well, I had actually two papers that were due, but they were pretty straightforward. I mean, they weren't hard. They were just, well, not even time consuming. Just, they just had to be done. You know what I mean? And one was a summary, which was stupid because, it's like, why? Why? What's the fucking point? It just pissed me off because it was like three different readings, and she wanted like an abstract or a summary of these things, and it's like, I mean, I understand it's an exercise in futility. No, it's an exercise.
Exercise of futility.
But it was just,
Discipline.
it was just bullshit because I hate that kind of crap, and I did a really good job. But anyway, I didn't get anything done on Friday. I mean, I left here and I went home, and my brother and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a nap because I was really tired. So, and I get into bed, and I'm lying there and I'm reading, and my brother texts me and says, "Do you want to come over later and shoot pool?" But then I felt guilty. Well, I eventually I did. I still took the nap, but then when I got up, I went over and.
About what?
Well, about not going. I mean, I didn't really want to. Well, I mean, it's not that I didn't really want to go. It's just I was tired. I wanted to take a nap. I didn't want to be bothered, But I went, and it was fun. I mean, I shot really well. I mean, I beat him like 4 games to 2, and I never beat him. I really.
Wow.
But I was shooting really well. I mean, I was really doing well, and then we sat around and we talked, and then I came home, and then and I didn't get anything done Friday night. I mean, nothing. And then Saturday, I don't know, what did I do Saturday? I didn't get much done Saturday either. I went to the gym and I worked out really hard. I mean, I had a really nice workout. And then I got home and I started to work on the paper that I had to write, and I got a really good start. I mean, it came really easily. I mean, it was factual though. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't have to really be creative at all. It was like just kind of straightforward. But I thought I was halfway done, and I said, okay, that's enough for today, and then I thought I'll do the rest on Sunday. I really left a lot to do yesterday. I mean, so I keep pushing it off, and then so yesterday I had to finish that paper. I had that summary to do of those 3 different articles. I had to do the responses to the discussion forums. So I had 4 of those to do. And then I had, no, that was it. That's all I had to do. But I wanted to be done by 6 yesterday evening, and I wasn't done till almost 11. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And anyway, so, and then I had discussed about maybe today my going over there, and then I knew that I had said something, and then I was hoping that, I just don't want to. I don't want to do it today. And then, so, I mean, I don't know. I'm really in a weird mood today. I was really kind of. I'm just so depressed about Erik. I just don't know what to do. I know that we talk about we don't know, but I don't like uncertainty. I don't like uncertainty. It's really causing me a lot of.
When's the last letter you sent?
Well, the last one I sent was before I went to San Diego, which was like the 24th. I think I mailed it. So I didn't get a chance to work on the letter this weekend because I was so damn busy with school, And I like to give that my full attention, and it takes me hours to write, a one-page letter. It takes a long time for me to figure out what I want to say, so I like to give it my full attention. I don't want to just like shoot something off. But I just start to think, I'm thinking trying to think like a rational person and look at the facts, and just to say, if he hasn't responded by now, he's not going to respond. And that really makes me sad. I don't know that I can accept that. I don't want to accept that. I just don't. I don't want that to be the case. I mean, I feel like I want to be out there, and that it might make a difference, if I'm there. It might not make a difference, but it might make a difference if I am. And if you thought I was, 5 miles away, it might make a difference that, 3,000 miles away. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, the fact that he might not be in my life is, it's a hard pill to swallow. I don't like to think about it. I don't like to think about it. But yes, I mean, I sit there, I'm not really, I didn't want to do the homework. And I guess nobody wants, who wants to do their homework, right? Who wants to? But if I didn't have that deadline, it wouldn't get done. It just wouldn't. But I just don't want to do it. I mean, after I do it, I feel obviously I'm glad that I did it. I'm satisfied that I did it, and I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to be late for an assignment. I don't want that to convey a message to the instructor or say anything about me. But I know I'm working really hard to be this perfect. Everything I turn in has got to be perfect. My paper this weekend was really good. I know it was really good, and I was really happy with it. And it's formatted to perfection. I know half the people in the class. I know it's not I know their papers aren't formatted correctly. I'm positive because I see how sloppy they are in the discussion forum, and I hope their grades are reflecting this shit. I know I can't say to the instructor, look, I want to know what everybody's grade is. But I see this crap and I'm thinking, if they're getting good grades for this shit, then I'm really going to be pissed. And two, I'm thinking, okay, this is week 3 already, and I'm always reminded because the assignments are set up in what they call modules. So this week is module 3, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's week 3 already, and by the time it's going to be module 8, and it's going to be over, and I'll be that much closer. Mm-hmm. And when I think about 2 things that keep me going. Well, 3 things actually. San Diego keeps me going because I really want to be there. Having this degree under my belt, it's keeping me going. So I just keep reminding myself of that. And then third, obviously, he keeps me going. And I know it doesn't sound like, yeah. Well, that's the way I feel. So many people wouldn't agree with me. But it's sort of this sort of analogy to like how this time just passes in my life. It's just. How the past 7 years pass so quickly, but it doesn't feel like 7 years. I feel like I just the time has disappeared and nothing has changed, really. I know I've done things. I'm not saying, if you're alive for 7 years, you're going to do things. I'm not saying that I haven't done anything, but I feel like it's just it was a lot of wasted time. I don't. I guess I look at it really negatively, and I think about all the terrible things that happened and all the things I could have done. That's what I focus on. Well, finally, I seem to be, but it still doesn't feel like it makes up for all the time that was wasted. It just doesn't. It just doesn't feel like it. It feels like that time is gone, and I'm angry about it, and it's like I wish I had. Written to him 7 years ago. I wish I'd written to him 20 years ago when he was still.
In your life, then,
Well, he was. He just wasn't to this extent. He was. It just didn't feel like this. It just felt different. It didn't sort of morph into this. But I need his cooperation. I can't do this by myself.
He's not going anywhere.
He might be. No. Honestly, he could be transferred. He could.
Well, in that case, still, he's going to be
somewhere. Well, no, he could be. He could get that new trial. He could be released from prison. He could disappear. He could be gone. He really could. It's really troubling to me. On the one hand, I don't want to think about him sitting in there until he's 90 years old and then dies. I don't want to think about that. But on the other hand, I don't want to think about him. I can't, I can't reach him. I can't. It's not even like, look. I don't like go looking for the right thing to say. I really don't. I try to think what I don't like sit there and try to craft this, tome of manipulation. I don't want to. But I do think about things, just the things that I would like to say.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking,
right?
Right, and I tell myself, that I'm different, that I'm special, and. That of course I will find the right thing to say, because I always find the right thing to say, right? And it's that uncertainty that really makes me nervous.
It's difficult to tolerate that. You're not alone in that. We are.
I know, but I don't really care about anybody else. That's not. That's not true. It is true. I guess it's not completely true. But how other people's shit doesn't matter as much. Because you can't. You can't take on. You can't take on the whole world. You can only be concerned with so many things. So, and I'm very sympathetic with other people, and they're empathic with the way they're feeling about things. But to a certain extent, what am I thinking? I'm thinking. Well, it seems to be getting a little bit long now that I haven't written since I've been back from San Diego, and I don't know how I'm going to start this letter. Well, I've been back now for going on 4 weeks now, and I haven't written anything to you.
Money in the interim, right?
I did, and that may or may not have been the right thing to do either, because he might be thinking, well, first of all, I need to call the prison. I need to call and ask if he will know where the money came from, or if it's just going to be like it's there, and he's going to have to make assumptions about who sent it. Because I don't imagine there are too many people who are putting money into people's accounts. She might not have much. I don't know if she gets money from her ex-husband or not. But I guess what I'm saying is, how many people are there that could possibly be putting money directly into his account? So they might not think that they even have to say, oh, well, so-and-so put money into your account, because of course he's going to know where it came from. Mm-hmm. How many places could it have come from, right? By the same token, I would like to know if he knew. And I'm going to call and ask. And just say, kind of a general question. I sent money as a gift to someone, and I want to, will he know that I'm the one who sent it? So I just ask.
Does that feel risky to you to call them?
It does. Well, because I feel like I'm, not like he would know, but just, first of all, nothing makes it more real than having visited there. That really made it real. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that he was so fucking close. I was so close to him, that I was physically close, that I'd never been that close to him in my life. Knowingly. Well, I've been in San Diego before, but I've never, even when I was in San Diego, I never had gone down there before. I had never had reason to go down there before. It still feels risky, because when I call, it's that whole privacy thing, like, I don't know what the scary part is. I really don't. I know what maybe a little anxiety is like. They're gonna know who I am, and they're gonna say, he wants you to stop writing to him or something. I'm not. I don't ever, when calls for me, he doesn't ask direct questions about him specifically, just sort of general questions. But I still have this sense that they're going to. Every time the phone rings, I think it's going to say, this is an automated call from Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility. Like they make that announcement before, so that it's a call coming in from inside a prison. The call is coming from inside the house. That sort of thing. Or if I miss it, or if I don't recognize my phone number. And I don't know why it makes me nervous, but it does. Maybe I'm going to get the answer I don't want to hear. Like when I was asking about the mail, I didn't want to hear that, well, we're kind of sloppy around here, and we, maybe he got it, maybe he didn't. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, well, no, we don't. Well, that's probably the answer you wanted me to get to, isn't it? That I don't want to know. I guess I don't. It's not that I don't want to know the answer. I don't want to hear the answer I don't want to hear. I only want to hear the information. To a certain extent, but there are things you can hear that you're going to have no control over. There's no way for me to change that. If I call and they say, no, well, we don't. We don't normally, say, okay, this person left this money, they must get in. I don't want to hear that, because then I have no sort of recourse. I can't force them to. I can't. I could obviously write to him and say that, but it's not quite the same thing, because if he's only paying partial attention, or, I don't know how engaged he is in the correspondence that he receives. I don't know if he's particularly engaged in mine, or if he's just kind of like looking at it and then just kind of tossing it aside. I have no idea. But if that is the case, then he might not even sort of become aware on some level that I had sent. And, it's not even that. It has nothing to do with the money. It has to do with the fact that this is a gesture. Do you know what I mean? It's not that it's the money. I don't care about the money. It's just I would like him to know that I made this gesture, that sort of represents something larger. It's just really hard when you feel like you're not being noticed, and I feel like time's a wasting. Time's a wasting. This is time that I could be right. I know, I understand that, but I guess in terms of. Look, if you had written to me a year earlier, I was a year younger, and I would have been here sooner, and I would have been this sooner, and I would have been here. I just would have been. This would have been sooner, and it's like that's, and it's, I don't know. I just feel like the time that is wasted. So I missed out on stuff too. I would like to know what's going on. I want. Here's the thing, I want to get to know him better, and I can't even allow myself to revisit too much of the information that is available to me, because it's too upsetting, and second, I mean, it's not upsetting because I'm not aware of it. Upsetting because I'm not a part of it. You know what I mean? I want to be. It just feels so cold, like sitting in a book or in an interview on YouTube. It just feels so cold, and he just feels so distant, you know. And it's like I want to be. I want that anxiety would sort of melt away if I were, sort of a part of this, and I don't have to fear it so much. And there's something I can do if I'm upset about, something that he said, or something the way he's feeling, or he's frustrated about something. It's like I can't help if you won't let me in. I can't. I can't do this. So, and I would like to be able to do that. I would like to be able to. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. Well, it's not even that. It's. I mean, that sounds almost like that. I just want, that I want sort of the attention. I mean, it is the attention that I want, but I want it from him. I don't want it from anyone else. I don't even necessarily want anybody to know about this. You know what I mean? I just want his attention. I just and I'm not talking about like, okay, you can't talk to anybody else. It's not like that. Well, special's not even the right word. Relevant. Or maybe somewhere between relevant and significant. I mean, I don't have to be the most important person in anyone's life, but I would like to matter in some way. That's basically it, to matter. Like if I weren't there, that he would notice. I mean, he wouldn't. He'd rather me be there than not be there. He wouldn't want me to sort of disappear. If I didn't write, that he would miss it. If I don't know. So anyway, I'll write. I'll feel better once I write this letter. I know. I mean, I do this every month. When I just get to this point, and then I feel better afterwards. I'd love to know what he's thinking. I'd love to know what he feels about this. My back hurts. That's what I'm sorry. I don't know. When I was at the gym on Saturday, I worked really hard, and then I woke up. I was really sore on Sunday, and I thought, okay, you pushed it too hard, but. When I was in San Diego, I don't think I had any back pain or leg pain whatsoever the whole time I was there. It's not that I didn't notice the pain. It's like I didn't feel it. But it's not. I don't think it's that. I don't think it was. I mean, I guess you say, well, what else could it have been? It doesn't feel like it was some sort of psychological thing, like where I said, I felt good before and still been in pain though. I mean. That's the only reason. I mean, I know what you're getting at, but I don't know how well that theory holds up, because with that theory, then happy people would never have pain, and we know that that's not true. But I mean, it's like the pain just wasn't there. It wasn't like I was just not noticing it. It's just like I didn't even think about it because I didn't experience any. Wow. So I had more of that. I told you I've got this ESP shit. This stuff happens to me all the time, and it's not just coincidence. It's not like it happens once in a great while. It happens all the time. And this morning this is really stupid. I'm not even going to tell you what it was. I'm going to tell you something without telling you. But I thought of something, and it was a line from a movie that I had thought of, and I'm thinking, and then I started to I even was going to say it because it was funny, and I just say it out loud. And then something I was watching on TV, they said the exact same thing at the exact same time. And I'm like, okay, this is the kind of shit that happens to me all the time. Yeah. It is. And it's like, so when I think about things, is this the same type of thing? Is this the same type of... Do you know what I mean? This is the kind of thing that occurs to me, and then it happens. And it's like, that is something that keeps occurring to me. So, well, I was sitting there across from him. Yeah. I haven't even have it to the extent where someone else in my family. How do I even explain what I'm trying to say? Like, I'll have this thought, like, I'm gone, right? I'm dead or whatever, and it's years from now, and that someone in my family is planning to go out there to see him because they got to know him through me because of my relationship with him. And so I'm not even there anymore, but I've established this connection, and now these other people in my life are involved as well. I mean, I get that thought, and I haven't given up. It's like I haven't given up because I feel like I can't give up because I haven't gotten there yet, and I know that I'm going to get there. I'm not getting through, and so what do I do? Where do I go from here? Because let's just say last week was better than the week before. I guess concerning school. I mean, even though this last week was pretty tough, I do need to stop using. I need to start using my time better than I am. Like last week, it was like 19 hours on Thursday that I did 2 assignments, instead of doing a little bit Monday, a little bit Tuesday, a little bit Wednesday. Yeah, I don't, right, and I have not been able to do that because if it's like on a Monday, I don't really feel that deadline. It's too far away to make an effect on me, right? So I'll push it on to Tuesday, and then Tuesday I'll say, okay, well, I still have time. I can do it Wednesday, and then by Thursday I'm out of time. It's due Thursday night, and so I do it on Thursday, right? I don't want to continue doing that, but I also don't want to feel like I did, and that's really gone to hell. I guess I don't like that idea.
Why not?
I want magic, obviously that's what I'm looking. I want magic is what I want. But when I try to be too specific, that's where I get crazy. If you say, okay, I'm going to sit down from 9 to 3 and I'm going to do this, and then you don't do it, then you feel like, well, it's fucked. I fucked it up. And how do I fix it? Because sitting down at 11, it's not going to fix it, because what I said I was going to do was sit down from 9 to 3. So I've already destroyed today. Today's already destroyed. You see what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it. But if it were broken into tasks, even if it were 11, okay, well, I still have time to read chapter 1. It kind of ruins it if I said I was going to do it at 9 and I didn't do it at 9, then it's ruined. Even if I start at 10, it's screwed. It's fucked. In my head, it's yeah, maybe I'll do it that way. So now see, Monday, like today, like I said, Eric, I haven't heard anything. So I said, well, how about Monday? Because I haven't had time for anything. I mean, I did go to my brother's on Friday night, but this is, I feel like I don't want to make plans because I've got too much schoolwork. Well, normally, I guess if I didn't have this thing, it's not that I don't want to go over there. I do, because it would be enjoyable, and I don't want to put myself on house arrest and say, well, you have to stay home and read or look at schoolwork. But I guess thinking in terms of tasks, I guess I would, like I said, review, just kind of look at everything, and yeah, and then maybe get some of the readings done. Well, it's probably going to turn into a very long afternoon if I go over there, which is fine. And see, here's the thing. Maybe that's why I want to go to San Diego, because I don't want any of this. It's like on the one hand, I want to be more engaged. On the other hand, I don't want any claims on my time. It really makes me anxious. I want to stay in my own little bubble, and then I'll come out when I want to. And that's kind of the way I am. I don't think that's why I want to get out of here, but I do. Like, since my mom came back from Florida, I never see her, and I feel all this guilt, first of all, because she's older, and she's probably not going to be here in 10 years, and I'm going to feel terrible. I'm going to feel guilty. I'm going to say, why didn't I spend more time with her? I know I'm going to do this to myself, but in the meantime, I still can't make myself become more engaged in her life. And so I just shut everybody out, and I say, okay, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to pretend that this, and I do that, and that's how I become isolated, because it's like I don't want to. If I say we're going to go do something on Wednesday, I worry about it until Wednesday comes. It's like, what if I don't want to go? What if I'm tired? But see, I used to feel that way. Yeah. I did. I used to feel like I trusted myself to figure it out. When I was younger, I would say, I remember doing this, saying, I wish I were finished with school. I wish I were finished with college, and I were like working. And that way, I could just bypass all this unpleasantness in the meantime, and be where I want to be. But would I trust myself? Even though this doesn't make any sense. I will have obviously lived through that time period. But do I trust myself kind of not being there to do the things that I would like to do? I don't know that I do. I don't know that would I trust myself? I know that didn't make any sense what I just said. If I say, okay, let's jump 5 years ahead in the future, I feel like I don't have control over what I did in those 5 years, so I don't want to jump ahead in the future, because I want to make sure that I'm there to take care of the things I need to take care of. Do you think I should send him a picture? I know, I'm thinking about him. Do you think I should send... I sent him a picture in the very second, letter. And he, you know, at that, I think I lost him. I think I lost him in the second letter when I sent that photograph, because he was probably thinking, you know, okay, this guy is, you know, I might as well be writing him a letter, because, you know, what a pathetic POS this person is. You know, what a pathetic. And that's kind of the way I feel like he's looking at me, like, there is something wrong with you. What the fuck is wrong with you? I did this terrible thing. I'm sitting in prison. There is no reason for you to care about me. You know, there is no reason for you to care about me. So there must be something seriously fucking wrong with you to care. You know, there's nothing going on in my life. You know, I get up, I go to the cafeteria, I work out, I'm in prison, bitch, you know? You know, what the hell do you think? And that's the thing, there's nothing to gain. I'm not asking for anything. I don't want anything, it's you that I'm interested in. I don't want anything from you. It's not like you can buy me things, it's not like you're, you know, there's nothing that I want. There's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing that you have, because that's not true. There is something that he has that I want, I guess. But you see what I'm saying? It's not like I'm writing to Brad Pitt because I want to go stay in his mansion and I want him to, you know, get me into nightclubs. I mean, he can't do that. He's, I don't know what
my motive is pure.
Exactly. I am pure as the driven snow. It's like, I am the most wonderful person you're ever going to meet. You know, why don't you? Well, I mean, obviously that sounds weird. I mean, I don't even know the word. He'll write to me, he'll write to anybody, right? When he decides to write to somebody, he's really made up his mind that this is a special person. And so, but in the meantime, I'm hemorrhaging, you know, I am losing blood.